Hi, this is Daniel Harold, and I'm back for my second video on gamification. Here I'm going to take you through some of the practical application aspects, what technology you want to use, and how I put mine together. Now you can choose to follow my example, or you can go with your own path, but this is what I found works and, well, what needs to be improved. What you're looking at right now, this is a screenshot of a Camtasia video, which I'm actually processing at the moment. To make these videos, I do use Camtasia 2 for Mac. They do have Camtasia Studio for PC, and then there's a number of options out there as far as making your own videos. I know YouTube allows you to freely screencast yourself, though it doesn't do screenshots. So you have to decide which one you want. Camtasia, I feel, is reasonably priced, but there is a cost to it, so you have to take that in mind. Regardless, if you have the tool, very easy to make a video. You just hit record, and it automatically records what's on the screen, and you as well, so it can let you put together videos pretty simply. Now let me take you over to the web, and I'm going to show you some of the tools I use on the back end to put together my gamification, including Weebly, Google Drive, and 3D Game Lab. I want to start with Weebly. Now there's a lot of different site generators out there. Perhaps you're good at using Dreamweaver, perhaps you use Wix.com, but I've found the most success with Weebly. What Weebly is it's a free service that lets you put together a website simply by clicking and dragging. I think it's a little better than Google Sites, it's a lot better than Wikispaces, and there's actually a pro version as well if you want to add in some more features. I've subscribed to the pro version. I think it's well worth it, but you can make that choice on your own. Let me show you what the interface looks like. If I click Edit right here, it'll take me to the main Weebly page. Now, my page has been coming together for several years now, so it's gotten pretty complex. Yours is going to start out probably a little more simply. Okay, so this is MrHarold.com. This is where I store most of my information, and this is what it looks like in editing mode. You notice if I move the mouse over any of the areas, a blue box comes up around it. Well, that's because when you put together these pages, you don't actually write the code from scratch, or you don't actually bring the elements in by themselves. You bring in, if I go to the side, these little boxes, and what these boxes are elements to build a web page. You can bring a piece of text, text and image. You can bring an image by itself. You can bring a Google Map icon, a simple divider, a video, etc. You get the idea. So what my page is it's been created by clicking and dragging a bunch of these boxes in. And you see I have the option of getting rid of them. I have the option of copying them, doing really whatever I want. I have my Twitter feed embedded here. You can embed HTML code from anywhere on the web. So this is what it looks like to put together. Very simple. I can show you just how complex you can make your page. If you look on the left here, these are all my pages I've created. There's probably at least 150 that I've made over the years. And you can make as many pages as you want within a web page for free, so it can get pretty complex. Let me take you back to the main screen and show you again what it looks like. If you mouse over at the top, you can get all these different submenus, and they can go as deep as you want. So a great way to put together a web tool. Let me show you what the final version looks like here. This is the published version, MrHarold.com, and this is where I house my quests. At least this is one option. So I showed you before how each unit follows that pattern, Q-U-E-S-T-T. Let's take a look at an example with the Hobbit. So what I did for the Hobbit is I made a page for it, and I put together, using Google Slides, a slideshow which has all the materials that a student would need to complete the quest. So these are my overarching questions. Notice how they don't just deal with the plot of The Hobbit. They address it, but they don't just deal with the plot of The Hobbit. They address larger issues. I have my understanding. Now, you'll notice each one of these is a hyperlink. That's because each one of these tasks has all the materials within it to complete the task. So the first task is to watch the Tolkien overview video. So a student will click this, and they'll be sent to my Google Drive, where they will watch that copy of the video. And here I am.
Hello, welcome to Quest 3, The Hobbit, the unexpected.
I won't put you through that. You can watch that on your own time. Some of these links don't take you to a video. Some of them, like this one for example, will take you to a note sheet instead. So what I want the students to do in this case is watch the video and complete the note sheet. So this again relies on Google Drive. The students, they go in, they type directly into this note sheet, they share the document with me, and then I have it all done online, all paperless. Student goes through and they again see that there are multiple options for some. For this one, they get to either read each chapter individually or complete literature circles. For their synthesis project, they click here to access the full materials, and then they complete the test portion, which is an in-class essay. So all the materials are available through my website. Now, how did I put this together? For that, what we have to do is go to Google Drive. Here's the back end. Now, Google Drive is an excellent tool. Google Drive is sort of a replacement for Microsoft Office. It lets you make documents that you can share with others and collaborate instantaneously. If you haven't checked it out, I would certainly do so. There's not enough time to talk about it here. But if I open my Hobbit folder, I'll see all the materials. Here are my videos. Here are my documents. And here is the very slideshow that I have in my webpage. So I make everything in Google Drive, I link everything to a central slideshow, and then I go ahead and I embed it in the website. So that's one way to make your material available. Now if I decide I want to change something somewhere along the line of this, I simply go in, I make the change, and it immediately comes up on the website. So that's just one option. Weebly and Google Drive together can give you a great vehicle to store all of your content and make everything instantly digitally available to students. Now there's another option, and it's called 3D Game Lab, and it is very new. In fact, it's really just in a closed beta. Currently there are access accounts which do have a good deal of cost to them, but they're currently on their way of making a more cost-effective version. I believe any time now they're supposed to be making accounts that are $10 a month for teachers, and you can have up to 150 students. They're not quite there yet, but give them a little more time. This is what the 3D Game Lab looks like, and this is what I've also had success with. The advantage to 3D Game Lab is that it keeps track of experience points. It really gives you that game feel. If you decide to use Google Drive and Weebly, an issue you might run into is how to get the gradebook to work. But 3D Game Lab automatically assigns a certain amount of experience points to a given task. For example, this is a sample student, and they have 2 quests available to them now. They have an optional Explore quest from Unit 5, and they have the Synthesis project from Unit 5. So a student might say, I want to tackle the Synthesis project. It's worth 200 experience points, takes about an hour, I'm going to get started. When they click it, it's going to load the quest for them. It has the instructions right here embedded, again using Google Drive. It has some links to some Google Drive documents, which they can click to access. And ultimately, it has instructions for what they need to do to submit it. This one says, this project has a number of different steps, outlines in the project. Please submit a copy of the group's pitch and script to receive the points. So after someone had created this project, created the script, they would go to complete, they would paste their link to their Google Drive document and submit to get the points. So again, 3D Game Lab is a great way to keep all of your students organized and to award points. Now this student so far has earned 675 points this year. They are currently a GEAT, Beowulf term, and they're currently slowly making track to 8,000 points, which is what they need to do to get an A for the entire year. So 3D Game Lab, Weebly. Let me show you some examples of student work that you can do. This is a large group project. No. The last thing I want to talk today about is what students can do online. Now here at P&C you've probably seen so many tools that you really don't know what to do with them. Let me go through a couple that I've already showed you. Weebly is a great tool for putting student projects together. Last year I had a satire project. Students had to satirize something, and they had a half hour to do it. So what one group of students decided to do is make a web page, and they put together a web page that made fun of infomercials. Now, if you scroll through here, you'll see a bunch of goofy infomercials they came up with, And there's also a bunch of subpages with some videos that they actually put together. They have their satirical video, and then they have the original video down below. Simply using iPhones, Weebly, they were able to put together this rather complex and unique satire project, which show that they understand the concepts of satire. Here's another one from the Beowulf project. They retold the story of Beowulf using a website, using a blog, using Twitter. Here's the blog page, for example. Here's an Instagram page. Here's Beowulf's Facebook page. And if you give me just a second, I'll show you Beowulf's Twitter account. Here it is right here. So students were asked to do is retell the story of Beowulf using all the different current social media. So as you can see, there's a lot of tools out there. Now this video really can't go into detail in all of them. I don't want to keep you too long. But Google Drive, Weebly, 3D Game Lab are great ways to start. And again, I put this whole video together using Camtasia. Well, that's it for now. Hope you learned a little bit, and we'll see you out there. Please contact me if you have any questions. My name is Daniel Harold. I work at Baldwin-Whitehall School District. You can contact me through my contact information below. Thanks for following. We'll see you out there.